Surely he hath borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. If thou bring thy gift to the altar, and there rememberest that thy brother hath aught against thee, leave there thy gift before the altar, and go thy way. First be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift. And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace of them that make peace. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another. As I have loved you, that ye also love one another. By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another. And why call ye me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say? If ye love me, keep my commandments. For if ye forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if ye forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. Put on therefore, as the elect of God, holy and beloved, bowels of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long-suffering, forbearing one another, and forgiving one another, if any man have a quarrel against any. Even as Christ forgave you, so also do ye. And above all these things, put on charity, which is the bond of perfectness. And let the peace of God rule in your hearts, to the which also ye are called in one body, and be ye thankful.
I never walk again. Can't you see I've got no rhythm? So I said I never stand again. The way I stood with you.
Let there be light, light, light.
Got him! Got him!
That's hush.
KS Radio Show, hosted by Alicio, aka KS. You got a new hot record you can't get on the airways? Well, they take music submissions over here at Alicio Torres 1989 at yahoo.com.
Say what?
Alicio started the KS Radio Show in January 2016, and it is recorded live every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time through www.blogtalkradio.com. Not only is the KS Radio Show the home of the most exclusive music and interviews, you can also give a birthday shout out to your homies.
Happy birthday!
Follow on Instagram and Twitter at KS Radio Show, or contact Alicio directly. His phone number is 513-370-4968. Alicio is down to interview anybody with a testimony, so get with it or get lost, get right or get left. Yeah. FRIENDS, miss me with them indirect boxes on the internet. I pass, don't never intersect. How you in the click, but you don't know me at all. All your shots get intercepted, so don't throw me the ball.
Pardon me if my speech seems tempered with passion, but lately my life ain't been no crystal stair. Instead of graduations and walking across stages and going to basketball games, I'm seeing riots and fires and people who are dying from a lack of air. I would speak, but see, the way this mask on my face is set up, I'm a little distant, and frankly, I'm tired. And I really don't understand the argument, because some of us have been wearing masks to church long before they were required, but I digress. We smile, but see, depression has a funny way with timing, because as soon as I think it's gonna get better, the news only reminds me every 4 minutes exactly how many people are dying. This can't be life. They say things get better with time. How, Sway? Because Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, and Breonna Taylor didn't get more time. Instead, time rewarded them with death, the hard way. I want to keep the faith, but I'd be lying if I didn't say sometimes I feel forgotten, because never leave me nor forsake me seems to fade when my brothers and sisters are rotten. The pastor spoke about racism on Sunday, but that was weeks ago, and now we're on to the next. While Robert Fuller and Malcolm Harsh were found in sunny Southern California in a tree hanging by their necks, so I need answers. 'Cause if red and yellow, black and white are all precious in his sight, then why does fear now come in squad cars when police come out at night? If we can launch people into space where no one is, why can't we get ventilators in hospitals just so people can live? I don't see the issue. 'Cause you're telling me my car can park itself, drive itself, but I can't go to the store and buy tissue. Something ain't adding up. I've been in the house 3 whole months and life will never be the same. I got gloves, I got masks, I got disinfectant. I bought this story, hook, line, and sinker. I've sanitized my hands so much, alcohol is coming out my pores, and I have never been a drinker, so I need answers. So what do? Me? Oh, I turn to the place this record has never been wrong. Written over 2,000 years ago and still correct, still right, still true, song after song. See, this story, like so many before, was already in the bookcases. There will be nation rising up against nation, pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. I know you feel like there's no hope, and this world is in a downward spiral. But can I tell you something? At the peak of hopelessness is a perfect time for revival. Because God has never lost, and he is still on the throne, and he will reign forever after statues, after flags, protesters, and Corona are all long gone. There is a hope found in him that this world needs to know, and it's up to us, it is up to you to make sure that his love is known. My brother, my sister, our skin color don't make us divided, because the blood that was shed on Calvary is relentless, and it has hope, joy, and unity inside it. You looking for an answer? Well, let me be frank and very clear. The only answer that will change anything in this world is Jesus, and he is, as he has always been, right here. He is the answer.
Ha! Got him! Ha! got him.
Okay, I'm reloaded.
Yo, we back. Shout out to the peoples out there that's tuning in with us tonight, man. We got a dope guest on the show. Very, very unique artist. I gotta warn you ahead of time before we get into the music. You can't hear me?
Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know if he can hear me. Yo, chat, let me know if y'all can hear me. Yeah, all right, so maybe it was him. So, yeah, we got a dope artist, man, and I got to warn y'all ahead of time, man. Very unique artist. This isn't your typical, you know, in my opinion. This is just my opinion, you heard? Hey, yo, and also, shout out to the bro with the laugh. He doesn't like the laugh. Yo, Cuzzle, man, send me some sound effects. I got you, you heard? But until then, we rocking with it. Lisa, you like the laugh?
Hey, man, I'm digging the laugh, man. I'm digging all the sound effects, bro.
Yeah. So you already know, we back again with another show, man. Super dope to be on here. With yet again another artist. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the bro. How you pronounce your name so I don't mispronounce it? Because I'll be suspect like that.
Dalomonze. Or Dalo.
Dalo. All right.
Yes,
I'm going to call you Dalo. All right. We're going to do it the hood way. Yeah? Nah, but shout out to you, Cuzzle, man. Welcome to the show. Appreciate having you on, man.
Thank you.
So, yeah, man. Oh,
Blessed,
go ahead.
man. Blessed. Oh, I was just saying, man, I'm blessed to be here, man. I appreciate you having me come through.
Word. So you already know how we gonna start the show off. You know, if you tuning in with us, man, share the live. You know what I mean? I'll put up the info in a minute so you can go like, share, subscribe, and even sew into the bro if God put it on your heart. But until then, we gonna get started with this exclusive joint coming, I believe, out of Dallas. Lisha, what's the name?
I don't know.
The song is Jesus Saves by
Jesus
Cora.
Saves. Oh, I don't
Cora
know.
and David Chadwick. I sent it to you so you can remind me, but I believe it's Cora and David Chadwick. Yeah, so we're going to play this joint. We're going to come back. This song right here is super, super fire as well. So you already knew. Stay tuned and let's get it.
Okay, I'm reloaded.
Let's go. I need you to share the live.
You don't know the things I used to go through. You don't know the hills I used to climb. You don't know the things I used to do to buy myself a little peace of mind. I was looking for a better situation without all the drama and frustration. You don't know the things I used to go through. You don't know the hills I used to climb.
Shout out to Cora and David Chadwick.
To the Lord.
My soul to keep every night before I go to sleep.
And I asked him to be my savior because
Jesus,
so tonight I'm gonna tarry for a little while
before I go to sleep.
And I'ma ask him to be my savior because
Jesus,
I know you're gonna dig this.
don't let me stay. I am weak, I am tired, I'm alone.
All glory to God.
Storm through the night, lead me on to the light. Take my hand, precious Lord.
Let's go, share the live.
I used to be a tough guy, thought I was so fly. I made my mama cry, she caught me getting high. Yeah, I was lying, stealing, cheating, thinking, creeping in the wrong direction. She said I need confession. Yeah, so I prayed to the Lord.
My soul to keep every night before I go to sleep.
And I asked him to be my savior. Cause
Jesus,
oh yeah, for a little while
before I go to sleep.
All glory to
and I'm
God.
gonna ask him to be my savior. Cause
Jesus,
If you're living your life without Christ, you ought to think twice. Cause there's a better way. If you're living your life without
Shout out to Jesus Christ.
never been forgiven, and that's not.
All glory to God.
If you're living your life without Christ, you ought to think twice. Cause there's a better way. If you're living your life without Christ, you never been forgiven, and that's not living.
one day.
You already know. Shout out to Cora. Shout out to David Chadwick. You heard? Super fire track. You already know, man. Go stream that on all streaming platforms. It's called Jesus Saves by Cora and David Chadwick. You heard? So let's go. What up, though, man?
Definitely a very soulful, very needful reminder that Jesus does save. I was rocking with it.
Yeah, I could have seen that. I could have seen that going a couple different ways too. Even taken from like the Silk Sonic kind of point of view with the way that they put it together, did more of a live band thing, had a little bit more funky.
Yep.
But I like where they were going with it for sure.
Definitely agree with that. Definitely agree. It kind of gave me that old school, early 90s, late 80s type of vibe, you know what I mean? So shout out to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, so, man, we got you on the show today, though, man. What up, Dalo? What's popping with you, man? Welcome to the show. Yo, Cuzzo, man, I was listening to your music, man. I'm super impressed, man. For the people watching, man, let people know who you are, where you from, all that good stuff.
I go by the name of Dalomonze, so you call me your favorite cousin. Also Dalo. From Cleveland, Ohio. I'm a singer, songwriter, studio engineer. I'm actually in my studio right now. I've been singing, songwriting, doing studio engineering. Studio engineering specifically for 12 years. Singing and performing for 16 years. And just being obedient, going where God tells me to go, and He's taking me to many different places, got me on many different stages, and all these different accolades, but nothing matches to the impact that God allows me to leave in people's lives.
Appreciate that. Word. So just a little bit about your musical background, because as people gonna see, you know what I mean, you a different kind of artist. So what's some of your influences growing up?
So I kind of been all over the board. I was actually in the Cleveland Orchestra Children's Singing Course. So I was singing operatic music. And at the time, of course, I was living in Cleveland. So, hip hop and R&B was all around me. And I got introduced to more gospel stuff through like Yolanda Adams and Dietrich Haddon and Fred Hammond. So I was still, it was very close in that kind of smooth R&B sound, Yeah. So honestly, after that, a lot of my growth happened in the studio. I started writing myself and kind of creating and vibing, and got to get in different spaces with different artists. So it's hard for me to just like stick to one sound. I tell people all the time, God gave me a message and not a genre. So that's me.
I like that. So have you always been a Christian? You grew up that way, or did you come from the dark side? You know what I mean, like on that level.
Well, we were all born sinners.
Yeah. That's a fact. That's a fact.
So I definitely had a lot of church upbringing and situations where family would take me to church, but we didn't regularly always go to church. We were in a community church that we dragged my mother to because it was people across the street that gave us hot dogs and candy, Wow. So we learned about God.
Shout out to
learned
the people.
About Jesus. Yeah, shouts out to
Shout out to them for the people that think
Pastor
that.
France and
Yo, man, go buy yourself, a 24-pack of hot dogs and feed the block, man. You'd be surprised. Sometimes that's the only connection somebody will have to God. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
and even a lot of the kids that wind up kind of going off in a different direction, when they did kind of, come to their sense, the first thing that they did was they hit up, Pastor France and Miss Debbie was like, hey, what can I do to kind of get myself together, because we know that you were the positive impact in our lives, even in the middle of the hood,
be like that too, man. It be like that. And man, sometimes you just might be that person that has to represent God, and it might look like a cheeseburger and a hamburger to you, but God is doing something else, because look at how you just said that sometimes that when people are finally going to get it together, guess who they going back to? You know what I mean? They first went for the physical food, now they need that spiritual food. So shout out to them.
And we don't think about the fact that there's a lot of lot of people who don't know how to properly care for the people that they make, So sometimes you just ain't got food in the house, and you like, man, I'm gonna go get this hot dog, eat these chips, man. I know they're gonna talk about Jesus, but it's cool. I'm hungry.
Facts. Yeah, I mean,
But
man.
something sticks in their mind, something gets drilled through, and they
Yeah,
see where
it's
your
that
heart
seed.
is.
That seed gets planted, you know what I mean? And somebody else come and water it. And guess what? Boom. Now there's
God
increase
gives
from
the
God.
increase.
Yup.
That's the Bible. That's the Bible.
Yeah, so like after that, it was a lot of living. We moved, and I actually wanted to rededicate my life after uh moving to California for a couple of months and then coming back because I went out there to make it and I didn't know what that meant. I really didn't know what that meant. I came back, really, dedicated myself to school and, my girlfriend, who's my wife now, and, we wound up getting saved, going to a young adult ministry. And I heard the truth and JR. You say this life is all you have, but you wasted time and time again.
Oh, that boy can
Like I
sing
heard
for
that
real,
song.
yo. That boy can sing for
Yeah.
real. Y'all
I
better
was
watch
like,
out.
man. I was like, hold on. You can do this for Jesus? Like, oh, it's over. Like, take me now, Lord. I'm here.
Let's get it. It be like that, man. It be like that, man. This is why, like, I honestly believe that this is why these type of platforms are so good, man. Because you never know, man. Somebody's testimony, somebody's worship for God, in the midst of it, could be inspiration for somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, thinking about even the people across the street. You know what I mean? For them, just giving them hot dogs and all of that, that was part of their ministry. And as little as it might seem to them, because they like, man, I wish I could do more. But look at what you talking about. We here talking about them right now. So the impact was a lot greater. So, man.
Yes, sir. So, yeah.
What's up, Lee Show?
So, it's the GodSon listening party. We got 6 track in queue, and he has more music on the way. Plug. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to have you on the show tonight, Dalomonze. Actually, I remember booking this interview as well as the KS Radio Show on Friday. I can't remember who the guest was, but I want to say you text me or you called me and I answered, and I told you about this show, and you said yes, and here we are. So what made you want to be a guest on the show?
That's how it all starts, man.
Yes, sir. Oh, so you asked what made me want to be a guest?
Yeah.
Well, I definitely had to meet Jay. That was the first thing. But I was so I'm still in between two thoughts, man. But I know I'm going to be releasing a lot of music coming up soon. The two thoughts that I'm thinking about is either release a whole album or release a sequence of songs every 3-4 weeks. So I have both available. I'm waiting for God to give me that full okay. But
That's really what it's about, man. We gotta move with the king.
Debuting one on Friday with ACO.
Man.
So Jay, you don't know this, but me and Dalomonze, we got history. Dalomonze was one of the first 10 guests on the KS Radio Show back in 2016, and we've been in contact ever since. So I want to say, what was the name of that project that you and Real Riley put out in 2016?
In 2016, that was the Made It In mixtape, and
Okay.
then we did the Made It In album after that.
Okay. So I think we have one of the tracks from the mixtape called Here Now. So I think it's fitting because it's what birthed and conceived our friendship. So I think it's only fitting that we kick the show off with this first song called Here Now, featuring Real Riley and Dalomonze.
All right, so let's get into this joint. You already know what time it is, man. Information at the bottom of the screen. Go like, go share some, go support. You know what I mean? One hand wash the other, both hands wash the whole body. And the Bible says that we'll know the children by the love that they have for one another. So let's esteem each other greater than we esteem ourselves. Go like, go share, go support. And if God put it on your heart, go sow into the bro, man. Take physical keys to open up physical doors. The gospel is free, but we still got to pay rent. We still got to put food on the table. You heard? So let's get into this right here. It's called Here Now. And you are ready.
Okay, I'm reloaded.
I've been doing this a long time.
I know you're gonna dig this.
I remember days turning into nights, mixing up until the sunrise. I remember
let's go.
Church boys, I was 19, we came a long way. And I learned a lot while I was hiking. Now I'm hung out with my bros. And my mama know that I'm on. No record deal, no contract, just a whole lot of high flows. And I ain't trying to be famous, no. I ain't trying to make big money, but it is only just a matter of time before you get it on me. I can't help. That's just the way it goes, you know. Doing all that I can to the good Lord take control. I'm staying on that narrow road. Ain't no highway state patrol. Still on my journey. You can ask Dora and you can't go. Yeah, bro, we eating now. I take that with an egg roll. Man, I've been trying to make it in, and I made it in with Taylor. Thank God that we here. So I gotta get my praise on. Came to doing better than the old school. So we ain't coming with the same old. I'm like, tell them that we here now. Tell them that we here now.
Let's go.
Tell them that we're here now. 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 Hopped off of the school bus into the booth. Homework while I tweak the track and I calculate the EQ.
I know you're gonna dig this.
So I save room for my craft. My mama told me as long as I make it home and I make it to class, you'll see me on the banner 50 deep with all these star spangles. He must be famous. Maybe from y'all's angle. I was in it and up, couldn't deny that I love it. Now where he tells me to go, I go and move like it was like take control, drive straight and he'll pay the road. Gas all of my music and I'll use it to save souls. Yeah, real, we eating now, but our main goal ain't make dough. That's food's gold. My payment for turn up, see turn up. So I'ma keep my hands up. Watch me do my dance, bro. Dying and resurrect was all a part of the plan, bro. I'm in it for keeps. Going for the win, they calling it a sweep. What do I say to my
Shout out to the body of Christ. Let's go.
Tell them that we're here now. 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 Tell them that we're here now.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Tell them that we're here now. Tell them that we're here now. Tell them that we're here now.
Yeah, tell them that we here now, you heard? Tell them that we here now. Let's go, man.
Hey, was Monday not Halloween? Hey, man, we putting the devil on notice tonight, man. We here, bro.
Oh, man.
Here, bro.
Man. No days belong to Satan, you heard?
You feel me?
And there's a point I actually wanted to make about that just because we in that season, right? Whether we celebrate Halloween or not, the minute you choose to give a day to Satan, you've already acknowledged the day unto Satan. And the Bible says all things you do unto the Lord. Every day is a day that the Lord made. You know what I mean? So the minute that you say, I'm not going to celebrate this day because this is a satanic day, then technically you're worshiping Satan still because you're going against what God said. You heard? Just wanted to point that out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, man, so that song right there was crazy. What's the inspiration behind your music? What is it that you be trying to grab onto and deliver through the music?
So that track, I ain't gonna lie, man. That Made It In album, Real made me step my game up because first we did the mixtape, and the mixtape, he was spitting all these bars, and I was like, I'm gonna just sing the hook. And then he introduced the album, and he specifically had that song that he was working on, and the inspiration that we had behind that, like I said, when I moved to California, I had this false perception of what making it in, or making it look like. And I had met Albie Shore's son, James Brown's son, people where it's like you're children of legends. You should be somebody already, you would already should be able to easily make it in. I'm the son of a mechanic that lives in Buffalo somewhere, like our perception should be different. And yet these same people were like, yeah, we just trying to make it. And I'm like, hold up. Like
ain't going to Cali to get rich and to make it.
yeah, like
That's
we
crazy.
at y'all mentioned swimming party. Like I'm confused. Like, isn't this what making it is? So when I really like was reintroduced to Christ, and found a sense of that peace. It made me understand like what real making it was, and it's like, okay, well, I guess we here now. Like, what we gonna do? Like what's the move? So we was like, okay, we here now. Let's tell our story. And that was one of the that was actually one of the opening tracks. That was the opening track to the project.
It
So
sure
yeah.
was because the first track is called Intro, and Intro toward the end of it had the beat to Here Now, and then track was Here
Yep.
Now.
So when you went to Cali, what was that experience like? So you said you went out there with the intention of thinking you was just gonna get on, but
Right.
What was the reality behind that, and what did you learn from it?
So I was there for about 4 months. And I'm one of those people where I kind of get the punchline quick, like like I went to the club 2 or 3 times. I got my shoes stepped on once. I experienced too loud music all 3 times. I experienced women, doing stuff that they wasn't supposed to be doing, and I wasn't into them types enough that quick. And I was like, okay, I don't like clubs. For Cali, it was like, okay, that experience on top of I was connected with a guy that was signed under Collar Park, and he had been getting spun around for 3-4 years. Then there was a guy that wanted to sign me for writing, but he wanted like 11 songs a week, and I was like,
Wow.
man, like
That's a lot.
for 4 years.
Wow.
And I was like, hold on,
That's
man. I was like,
crazy.
this can't be it. This can't be it. So I'm like, I literally was like sitting on the rooftop looking at these mountains, like, man, it's beautiful here. But I can't ignore the fact that I'm seeing multiple homeless people on every single block, every single block. I can't ignore the what's really happening out here.
What part of
And I
Cali
was
you was
like,
at?
this ain't it.
What part of Cali you was at?
I was in Reseda.
Okay, all right. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was in the Valley, not too far from North Hollywood area. I had traveled to LA a little bit. I didn't ever go to up north to Sacramento, but I was floored at the fact that it wasn't that there wasn't a plan, once I got there, because I was like, dang, my grind should do it all. But it's not all about the grind and the hustle, because you got people that'll go out there, they'll spin on their head, they'll do all the grinding and all the hustling, and they get used, abused, and left on the street. And I was like, I can't be that. I can't do that. That ain't what God has called me to be.
So do you got like family out there? What drew you to Cali? Because I know you got Cali and then you got New York. And you know what I mean, as far as when the music. So what drew you to Cali?
Well, it was warm. Okay, I'm from Ohio.
All right. Can't get
Praise
mad
the
at
Lord
that.
for the sunshine. But I actually at the not too long before that, I was with a group, and I was the only singer. It was 7 of us, and I was in a group, and we were doing really good. And then half of them decided to go and try to rob somebody, and they got caught.
Wow.
And a
Wow.
friend of mine, KG, he was like, yeah, man, I'm about to move to Cali. I'm about to stay with my Uncle Johnny for a little bit, and get myself on my feet, get stuff together. And I was like, I'm going with you, bro.
Man,
I literally
I don't
turned
blame you.
I turned 19 in Las Vegas.
That's
We
crazy.
drove from Cleveland to Cali in a day and a half.
And that sounds like my type of day, though. I love to drive, you heard? I love to drive. Hey, yo, cousin, look, I changed the laugh for you, you heard? But
Yeah,
man,
so-
that sounds crazy, because I'm thinking to myself, just getting up and going somewhere where you don't necessarily have family, that in itself got to be a test. You know what I mean? Like, so what was your plans? Did you go rent an apartment? Were you staying like in the telly? Like, what was
Who's
going
with
on?
Uncle Johnny, man? Uncle Johnny was the truth,
Uncle
man.
John.
Uncle Johnny was the truth.
Man.
Like real talk. I even talked about it in a song that I released on a project called "Do You Like Me," and I literally said, man, Uncle Johnny was like anybody could have told me anything any day out there, and he
Oh,
would have been an
hold on.
older
So
male.
Uncle Johnny's a real person. I'm
Uncle
thinking this
Johnny's
is
a real
like
person.
I'm thinking this was
Yeah,
a
man.
metaphorical person the whole time.
Uncle Johnny, a real person, man. And Uncle Johnny
Shout out to
know how
Uncle
to down
Johnny,
a
yo.
Twisted
Shout out to
Jameson,
Uncle
man.
Johnny.
Uncle Johnny know how to drink and all that stuff, man. But he at the same time he was right in his head. He knew enough that he was letting us know like, okay, it ain't just come out here and just do it, He's like, you gotta have a plan. You can't listen to everybody. You can't do everything that everybody's doing the same way that they do it. And like to be all the way honest, like that was a blessing because I didn't have a father, growing up like that was there and consistent, and my family wasn't really there. There's a lot of women in my family, and women bicker. I love them,
Yeah.
but women bicker.
Be
So
like that.
yeah, we'll have spurts of time that we all talking and together and cool, but then most of the time that we separated until the funeral happens, and then we repeat that cycle again. So I was used to not really having family support. That wasn't the thing. I was used to being poor. That wasn't the thing. The thing was, where's their opportunity? And I
Yeah.
thought it was there. When I realized it wasn't, I was like, all right, go back to the drawing board, build a plan.
Man, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. So, at what point did you say that you? So, what are you full? Like, let me ask the question: do you consider yourself a CHH artist, or you just an artist in general?
I'm an artist in general, but I'll never
Okay.
I'll never separate myself from the Christian.
Okay.
And I don't knock anybody that I don't knock anybody that say it because we don't know what position they're in. But I won't ever say I'm just an artist that happen to be Christian. Like, no, I'm an artist. I'm an artist because I'm a Christian. Like, in all honesty,
Facts.
I would be doing a whole lot other stuff if I wasn't really a believer. You know, this like when I got saved, I put music down for a while because I was like, people only like me because I can sing. Like, God, what else do you have for me? I found out I can talk. I found out I can teach. I found out that there's a lot that I could do hands on. I built this studio, like
Wow.
I built it with my own hands. And if it wasn't for that time being away from the music and understanding that, it wouldn't have happened. But even more so, like I I encompass everything that God has taught me, from life lessons to ministry lessons to being a father, and I take all of that and I put that in music, and that's why I say I don't have a genre. I can't be just a CHH artist because I don't fit the category. I can't fit the box.
Yeah.
I've even had times where literally I performed at gospel events, and after I went off, they said, "Okay, let's get back to the real gospel." You know, so
Wow.
you know that, and I mean, I know that's church hurt, but at the same time, it's like it but at the same time, God has me in His own category.
Yeah. I mean, man, it's crazy that keeps popping up. So, what do
I
you
think
think is
that's
the?
the second time I've heard that on this show.
Yeah. So,
So yeah.
what do you think is the direction of Christians doing hip hop in the church? Do you think it's gonna get better, or do you see it just kind of being stagnant?
I think um it's always going to be a thing that has its taboo, because it's always catching up. Like, Christian hip hop sound is never the same sound that's mainstream. If that makes sense.
Nah,
So
yeah,
when
definitely.
when Lecrae really started going hard and started sounding more and more and more mainstream, the further and further and further the church separated themselves from him, because to them it seemed like Lecrae was separating himself from them. But no, like that he was getting more and more current, And the church is like, hold on, we just accepting Tupac. Like, you know, like we just accepting Lean With It, Rock With It, Snap Sound right now. You know, we're just accepting going into some sort of trap feel. You can't go in the drill yet.
Man,
you can't go in the drill yet.
Yo,
not
we was
in the
literally
church.
just talking about that with the last guest, DJ Lost the Fam.
Give it 10 years, give it 15 years. They'll be singing drill rap Christian hip hop songs in the church, and they'll be accepting it then, but that won't be in then. So I feel like it's almost going to be like
it's almost going to be like the hip hop will be playing catch up. You know what I mean? Or the church will be playing catch up with hip hop.
Yeah, but the thing, and I think that's kind of the issue where it's like the desire is to give me what the world is giving me, but put Jesus in it. Like, that's what they're asking. That's exactly what the church want. That's what the church youth want. But at the same time, we're not supposed to just give them what the world has and just put Jesus in it.
Not at
so
all.
It's really tough, man. It's tough where it's like, but this was the catalyst that saved my life. Somebody can say drill music was the catalyst. Drill church, Christian drills singer or artist that I heard was the reason why I wind up coming to Christ. So now I want to do this for Christ. And now the church is like, oh, we not into that yet.
Yeah, we can't let that happen.
So it's always gonna be tough, man, until Christian hip hop finds its own sound that attracts people. It's always gonna be playing catch up.
Yeah, I look at it like, you know, that same person that comes from that world where he's listening to drill and running drills and all that, pulling drills off and all that. He was doing that at one time, getting ready to go body something. You know what I mean? And now he's doing the same thing, but this time he's doing it for God. So the issue was never the music. The issue was always the heart of the person that was listening to the music. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think a lot of times we look past that, and I'm confused. I'm thinking to myself like, man, shouldn't you want somebody to leave the street corner and come to the church the way that they are and allow God to change them? Because if it's God's will that person don't do drill music, and God said that he's going to begin a work and he's going to finish it, how come we don't just trust God and just embrace people where they at and be the representation of who God is?
Yeah.
You know?
I can't go too far into it because it becomes a soapbox situation, but you got to think about who a lot of times churches they have to run a business, they got to operate, you know, and the people that are consistent are the people that are older. And the older you are, the less connected you are to what's new and hip with hip hop, you know. And current music.
Especially if you living in that box, you definitely going to continue to get disconnected.
Yeah. And you're talking about 20, 30, 40, 50 years in that box.
Yeah.
And it's hard to just accept somebody as they are. Like, yeah, you can come as you are the first 2 times. You know?
And that's it. After that, no more.
You know?
Oh man, that's not good. That's
read the room, man. Read the room. You know, but that's why younger churches are popping up. It's so much with it, man. The world is tough, man. It's tough out here. But that's why we're called to lean on God. That's why we're called to lean on God.
Especially if we want to be effective in the world, man. God didn't call us to hold up the brick walls inside the church building. We're not supposed to be holding that up. You know, we're supposed to be going to the church, being disciples so that we can go out into the world and make disciples as well.
And if you think about it, that person that 20, 30, 40, 50 years in church, what if that 20, 30, 40, and 50 years, they were actually still ministering? They were actually still evangelizing. Even if it's not all the time, but if they had a specific amount of time that they actually spent going out to the streets, talking with people, going out and seeing and hearing the music that they're listening to in that time, but evangelizing, how much more that they would actually receive it if it came into the church. But it's a culture shock to them, you know, as well as the person that's going in, to the point where they're like, man, I want Jesus, but Not if it's got to be around them old folks.
Oh yeah, I like to believe that, you know, as generation continues to increase, people get older, the younger get older, and things start to switch over. I would like to think that that would become more acceptable. But then again, I'm like questioning it, right? Because the other day I'm with my man, one of my peoples that I grew up with, and he was mad at the kid that had his pants sagging. And I looked at him with the Scooby-Doo like, huh? Like, bro, you bugging? Like, we the ones that started that. You sounding like the older people telling us, like, and he was like, man, we got old, man. And I'm like, this is what it's probably going to look like.
This is what it came to.
You know what I mean? Yo, son, I mean, why
it's like those commercials where it's like, we can't stop you from turning into your parents.
Yeah, Facts. But yeah, man, what we got next on deck, man? Because it sounds like it's going. We got a lot to conversate on right now. So,
I know that we have the music video "Rejection Issues." We have the song "Dancing" with MC Nice featuring Dalomonze. We have Money's house slap mix, and then we have Money's the original version, and then we have On a Sunday with DJ Fatty Banks. So, bro, it's up to you, man. Whatever you want to do, J Music.
Let's go with the video. You already know I like visuals, so let's get into this video, Rejection Issues, and we'll be right back. You already know, man, information at the bottom of the screen. Go like, share, subscribe. Go sow into the bro if God put it on your heart. We're going to be right back, man. Let's get into this joint right here called Rejection Issues.
Okay, I'm reloaded.
Let's go. I need you to share it live. Go show that support.
Can you please hand me that water right there? Thanks.
It's lovely that you came to see me. No one else has been by my bedside. I'm lucky that you chose to be here. I assume that those who don't even care will send letters.
This right here is spicy.
Tweet how they hope I feel better. Maybe I'm being pessimistic, I'm a bastard. I never really had nobody who ever cared like you do right now. Friends and family, I can't always count on, but as soon as you hear me ring, you'll still be there, hang on. You must really love me.
I know you gonna dig this.
You must really love me. Baby, honestly, it seems kind of unusual to me. Can't be real. I hope you want something unusable for me, cause I would give it to you. You probably lying and stealing and cheating too, hanging in the back of your whip with some other dude. I got no real reason to try and shame you, but if I find something missing, I would probably blame you. Anything I can do to try to avoid the fact that you truly love me, and that I feel the same too, man. Friends and family, I can't always count on, but you've been there for me. You're the reason I stay strong, and please don't change one thing, even when I'm trying to do us harm. Cause as soon as you hear me ring, you'll still be there, hang on. You must really love me. You must really love me, baby.
Well, that was it. 'Cause it looked like it still had like 41 seconds or something. That was it?
Oh yeah,
All
Credits,
right, all
brother.
right. I wanted to make sure I ain't shut it off too quick. Yo, son, that right there is dope, man. Like that visual was crazy. Who came up with that?
So man, what's crazy is my dude Kanan Gabriel.
Shout out to Kanan Gabriel.
Dude's a beast, man. Dude's a beast. Like that's the third visual that he's done for me, and like he finds connections in my songs that I don't even see myself, you know. um, and so like I really love the way that he put it together because he gives a visual representation of exactly what I was trying to get across. It's tough for me to explain, so a lot of times I just sing it, and he did a great job with making that one happen. And my son played the role of a young me, and he was a beast. I was proud of him because he was sleepy, and I woke him up, and I was like, it's time. You ready? He was like,
He looked just like you too, man. That was a good call, yo. That was definitely
Yeah.
a good call. Yo, Lisha, wasn't we talking about R&B with DJ Lawson fam?
Bro, we always talking about R&B. We always talking about music on this show.
Yeah, but so this is what I feel like R&B sound like in the Christian
Yes.
sense, right?
Yes.
So
You
we
are
was just talking
absolutely
about
right.
that, where we was trying to figure out what would Christian R&B sound like. You know what I mean? Now, I don't know if that's what you was going for, but that's what it definitely resonated to me. Like, you know what I mean?
Definitely wasn't rap.
Yo, you never know, Bobby. You never know. These days, there's a lot of confusion going on. You could be a doorknob if you want to be a doorknob these days.
You need to just go ahead and coin the Christian R&B. Because I mean, if you think about it, it's already been around. I was listening to "Open My Heart" by Yolanda Adams, and I was like, man, like this is the type of music that inspired me. Where
Yeah,
like
you got to
literally,
pardon me. I'm not familiar with Yolanda Adams, so you got to pardon me.
so the song, she was just like, I open up my heart. Like,
Okay, that's
like
her.
it was,
Oh, okay,
man.
all
It
right,
just
yeah, I know who she is.
just
Oh,
this
now you know.
smooth R&B sound. And you talk to the old people, in the church now, and they be like, well, y'all don't say Jesus at all in the tracks and stuff, but y'all support Yolanda. She ain't say Jesus at all in that song. But you knew that she was asking God to open her heart, just in the midst of all. And I was like, man, this is the stuff that influenced me, and it's already been around, man. It's just gotta
come to the forefront.
Yeah, it's just gotta come to the forefront. That's all.
Yeah, we definitely need more artists like you on the show because I think you hit that on the head with it, man. That's that pocket, you know what I mean?
We got another one. We got another one this month. I just made the flyer, so just stay tuned. We got another R&B artist coming on.
Let's get it. Glory to God, man. So yeah, man. So what are some challenges that you face as an artist, just trying to balance your family and be creative at the same time?
As an artist or as an artist that's Christian?
Whichever one floats your boat, Bobby.
Yeah, because it's the biggest struggle is finding the balance, finding that balance, creating that balance, and the fact that there aren't many people to follow after doing it. I have to get enough accolades to build my resume, but not too many to look like I'm prideful. Get money to support the family, but not ask for too much to not seem like I'm trying to not do ministry. I have to travel.
Like you're only doing it for the money or something.
Yeah, travel and get out here to more people to see you, because I have to cast the net to a broader audience to get enough people to actually, have a following, but not travel too much to make sure I'm supporting my family and I'm there for them. It's a big balancing act, man.
Do you see
I literally just worked on a song called Tightrope, And literally, that's a perfect expression of how it is. It's a tightrope, man.
Do you see that a lot of a lot of people in the body support each other when it comes to doing the music, or do you think that's an area that needs to improve?
That's definitely an area that needs to improve.
Yeah.
Definitely an area that needs to improve because it's we'll work together, but we don't all have the same perceptions of how to do it. You know, especially the biggest thing is it's for Jesus, so I'm gonna do it. I say you got to do it in the excellence because that's what the word says.
Facts.
You know, and they're just like, oh, we just gonna put it together. You know, like we just gonna
We're gonna trust God. We're gonna
we
trust
gonna
God.
just trust God. But you know, you gotta. There's so many different parables, man. There's so many different stories. I don't know if you heard the story where it say, you know, the person's there was a flood coming, and you know, someone said, "Hey, there's a flood coming," and the person said, "You know what? I'm gonna trust God that He deliver me." You know,
Oh
okay.
yeah.
Then you know the flood started to come, and the water started, you know, rising. So he went up to his roof. You know, his neighbor came by on a boat, and he said, "Hey, your house is flooded. Hop on the boat." He said, "No, I'm waiting on God to deliver me." You know, you know, and the water's getting higher and higher and higher. He on his roof, and now he up to his neck, and the helicopter come through, and you know they say, "Hey, jump on the helicopter. We we here to rescue you. I'm waiting on God to come save me." You know, he get to heaven, he like, "God, why you ain't save me?" He like, "Bruh, I sent the neighbor, I sent the boat, and I sent the helicopter. What do you want?"
Hey yo,
So you
that
gotta
story.
there's some practical things that God makes happen and allows that you can utilize in order to be correctly, you know, be done correctly. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, don't just plan the show. Like, do you have a sound tech? Do you got a band? If you don't got a band, you got a DJ, you know, or are you gonna just put this music on this laptop, not sure if the battery is gonna die or not? You know, or no, you go ahead, plug your phone up to the aux cable. And don't, if a text message come through, my bad, during your set, you know, it's like
Man,
everything
listen,
in decency and order, man. So
it's
when it
not
comes to
good.
the body and being an artist, since it's not making enough money and you don't got enough fans, you got many people doing things on many different levels, and it's so hard to collaborate enough to really be to be supportive enough of each other. It's not that they're not supportive at all, but supportive enough to really to create a career out of. You wind up having to just create your own team and do your own thing. That's why it seemed like it's islands. You got the island of Reach Record, and you got the island of God Over Money, you know, and it's just like those are unreachable islands because they've worked so hard building their team of excellence that
Yeah.
they're scared to let anybody else on.
I forget which artist was it, man, but he says if you chase perfection, you'll end up catching excellence. You know what I mean? So
Who was
I
that?
forget
Jamie?
which.
Who was
Who was
that?
it?
Who was
It's
that?
some
Jamie?
artist. There was
Who
an
was that?
artist that said that. I forget who it was. I heard it earlier today. I meant to write down his name, but you know. But yeah, nah. But I definitely agree with that statement because you know the Lord tells us to be perfect as He is perfect. You know what I mean? And we know that perfection is, at least for me, anyways. The way I see perfection is not that you never make a mistake, rather that you make a mistake and learn from it, so that you never make it again. So it don't matter where you at in the world, you'll never make that mistake because you learn from it. So you
Right. And let me
perfect in that way.
correct myself. Do everything in the excellence that he's giving you.
Yeah, facts.
You know,
Facts.
if all you have is a karaoke microphone and a speaker, you know, you do it. Go, if that's your excellence, do it.
Yeah,
But
do it.
don't have a friend that got full speakers and the whole DJ setup and not reach out and try to take a step
Yeah.
up, you know?
Facts, facts. Because it's important that we work with each other too, as well, especially in the body. And I think that even goes back into the whole supporting each other that we was talking about. Even goes back to the churches, you know, pastors supporting the youth in their church that are doing this
Yeah.
music, you know,
Oh
and
yeah.
and it all falls in line with the body of Christ, because there's many members in the body, and not everybody looks like an arm or a foot. You know what I mean? There's some people that just hair follicles. But think about how important a hair follicle is on your body. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so important that God numbers them. You know what I mean? So
Right.
and so it's not something that we should underlook.
Yeah, that's true.
So we got this brand new commercial from one of our sponsors. She has helped the Chaos Radio Show on numerous occasions. And Jamie, you have the clip about her business. So I think it's only appropriate. I think it's the perfect time to play her new commercial.
Yeah, all right. You already know, man. Shout out to Rosalind Smith Counseling. Go tap in with her, go lock in, support the kingdom, support the members in the body, man. So let's go, let's do this.
Hi, I'm Rosalind with Rosalind Smith Counseling, and I'm excited to tell you about my program called From Forgiveness to Healing. This program is a self-paced, 8-week transformational program that walks individuals through the process of forgiveness. If you've been struggling with releasing or letting go of things, need help in forgiving someone or maybe even yourself, this program is for you. You can learn more about the program on my website, rosalindsmithcounseling.com, or you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Rosalind Smith Counseling.
Got him! Got him!
Okay, I'm reloaded.
Welcome back. You know
and
what I mean?
While we're giving shout outs to, Rosalind, Dalomonze, are there any shout outs you'd like to give tonight?
Shout out to the family. My loving wife, Kira. My youngest birthday was just yesterday. So shout out to Layla. 6 years and running and talking. Shouts out to my team, the whole Dalo ENT squad. 88 Nardo, Fallon. Man, it's a lot. Thunder Roar, and my boy Vernon Tyus.
So for those who can read, we see at the bottom of the screen that you have merch at glorybrand.com. Let's talk a little bit about that. What's the vision behind glorybrand.com, and what made you want to start this initiative?
It was a good name. It gave God the glory, I was like, why not? I told myself I was gonna stop having brain farts. I call them brain farts, because somebody else will smell it and turn it into some real crap, and you be mad.
Oh man.
And you'll be mad because it'll be gone from you. But yeah, I had the idea, and I was like, how would it look? And I was just kind of working, messing around on Shopify, and trying to create just a different look, a different vibe. I'm not the best in visuals all the time. So when I get something, I really commit time, commit effort to it. I want to make sure it's good quality. And yeah, man. So yeah, that's kind of the story behind Glory. I wanted to be able to kind of take a life of its own. Aside from just from Dalomonze or merch, but to be able to just have its own platform eventually.
So do you got plans on like trying to expand the business, or is it just kind of like a thing that you're doing in this season?
I don't have written plans yet. I have ideas, but I need God to kind of let that, allow those to flourish.
Right. So you already know, man. Go check out the brand. Go get you some merch, man. Go support the bro. You know what I mean? It's just sowing back into the kingdom of God, man. Everything God gives seed to the sower. So let's just continue to sow seed, and we'll always have seed to sow. Yeah.
Amen. Dalomonze, with it being the fall season here in Ohio and everywhere nationwide, do you have hoodies on the site? Hoodies for kids, unisex hoodies, or anything?
Did he freeze up?
I think he did freeze up.
Agent Smith back in the building. Agent Smith back in the building. All right, so yeah, he froze up. He froze up. But yeah, man, I'm having a good time though, man. He's a dope
I'm having
artist.
a great time, man.
Super articulate as well. You know what I mean? He can what's the word I'm looking for? Explain himself correct. Good. Articulate himself.
He is very well versed.
Yeah, very well spoken. That's what it is, man. So I'm saying, man, you a very well spoken person, man, and you know, shout out to Jesus for that, man. That he designed you that way, right?
Yeah. Thank you. Not sure what happened, but
yeah, you had froze up. What you had said, Licio?
So I was asking on the Glory Brand website, do you have, you know, with it being hoodie season and, you know, sweatshirt season, do you have stuff for, you know, unisex stuff for men and women and as well as children?
Yep. I got unisex. Well, I got, you know, both women and men hoodies as well as, you know, kids hoodies. I was going to go into kind of shoes and all those things, but I'm gonna stick now for now with shirts and hoodies. Yeah, I ain't gonna do too much because I tend to overdo it.
So. I got you. Well, I do have an idea for you because I'm like every spring I'm always looking for slides. So for those, you know, spring is coming up, summer is coming up. Maybe that's something you can look into for, you know, next year.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I look to the slides just for you, Alicio.
How about collabs? What about collabs? You think about doing collabs? Because I know we got Cuzzo Mark Evans II coming on. He does Hustle, Pray, Eat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So so one of the things that I was doing actually with my Dalo merch, is I wanted to connect with different artists and designers, and I actually wanted to split profits with that artist. And what I would do is I would title the actual the graphic work, I would title it their name. You know, so not only would it promote them on the site, but then as well as they also get, you know, split profits of it as well. So I definitely look to collab because it's you know, proper business is all about, you know, delegation and partnership, you know, as well as the kingdom. So I don't have any issue with partnering at all.
Well, Dalomonze, Jay Measy might not say it, but I am gonna say it. We are looking to help promote businesses. So if you need any brand ambassadors and you need us to make announcements, we're open to that. Just send me or him your merch, and we can promote it on the show.
Yeah, we'll put it in the background. We'll put it up in the background and all that. You know what I mean? So.
I mean, you see I'm wearing mine, so
yeah.
Give me a shirt. I'm gonna put it on.
I like to get dressed up. I just don't got nobody merch to get just dressed up with. You know what I mean? So
I got you. Yeah. What they say? Say less.
Say less. Say less.
Give me a P.O. box.
Yeah.
So it is the GodSon listening party. We're an hour and 10 minutes in. You got this brand new track. I think it's the newest one that you ever released called Monies. What was the inspiration behind Monies? So
Monies, if you look up the definition of monies, it is a undisclosed amount of money. That's what we're told to chase after. We're not just told to just get cash, not just get the bag. They want monies. It's a ever flowing amount of money that you'll never obtain, and you're always going to compromise yourself to get it. Right. That's the evil. That's not what we want. That's not what we need. It's not about that. You need money to, you know, support a family, support a ministry, build a business, you know, continue to thrive and move and shake. But monies is not something, especially when you're in the kingdom, something you should be chasing after.
Yeah, it's like greed. That's like greed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Wow, I never looked at it that way, man. Shout out to you for that. That's a dope perspective. Like that. All right, so let's get into this joint right here called Monies. You already know information at the bottom of the screen. Go like, share, support. So into the bro. Let's get it, man.
Okay, I'm reloaded.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
I ain't living for it. It ain't all about money.
Glory to God.
Blocking them blessings to get that. Oh, man, you may have two minds about it. Either love or hate is what the good book say. Oh, man, work hard trying to get his hands around it. But the treasure stays as we lay. Money all around, money gone around. Many people wanted more will come around. Blood, tears, and sweat just to get that. They blocking them blessings to get that. Money all around, money gone around. Many people wanted more will come around. Blood, tears, and sweat just to get that. They blocking them blessings to get that. Money all around, money gone around. Many people wanted more will come around. Blood, tears, and sweat just to get that. They blocking them blessings to get that. Money all around, money gone around. Many people wanted more will come around. Blood, tears, and sweat just to get that. They blocking them blessings to get that. I ain't living for it. It ain't all about money.
Hey, yo, this right here, that feel good right here.
Your whole life set or upset about money.
I like this, I like this, I like
They
this.
blocking them blessings to get that.
Hey, yo, that belong on the next movie dropping that represent the hood. You know what I mean? That right there is yo, cuz if I would have heard that and not knew it was you, I would have thought it was like Marvin Gaye, James Brown.
Yeah.
Yo, fire.
Yeah.
Super
Much love,
fire.
much love.
Word, man. That right there different.
I've never listened to James Brown, but like I've like seen and heard like snippets and clips here and there. That sounded just like James Brown. I almost when you emailed it to me, I was like, "Hold up, this ain't the Dalomonze that I know. This is you had a transformation somewhere."
I don't know, man. It sounds like you've been doing that forever, though, man. Cause you hit that pocket like perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Man, listen, God kind of allowed me to be able to. I'm good at imitating, you know. I do cover songs all the time, man. I had a whole cover band, and it just kind of opened up, you know, the abilities and then this box that God has you know, showed me like I don't need to stay in. Like I can. That's why I said God gave me a message, not a genre. So you know, I got a little bit more to go. You know, so.
I already know who
Here.
I'm reaching out to when I need somebody to do like that right there. You ain't just gonna find up the block. You can't just go to Walmart and go find somebody that sing like that. You know what I mean? So shout out to you, man. Definitely.
And that was the first time that like I went into the crates to find the artwork for that. If you look at the artwork for that, I actually did a spin on I think it's Lightning Jackson. Don't let me mess his name up. It's something Lightning, but it was Hustlers Convention. And if you ever heard the Hustlers Convention, it's a story told from the perspective of, you know, somebody who was you know, he was in the streets, and you know his boys they had a way of getting money, going to this Hustlers Convention and pretty much just scamming everybody, you know. But they started getting so greedy and wanted so much more money and more money and more money that it got to the point where they wound up getting in trouble, getting caught, and lost everything, you know. So like it just like when I found that album artwork and I seen it and I heard the project, I was like, yeah. I was like, that points right to that same message.
That right there, I'm telling you, that's classic, man. Like I said,
Yeah.
bro, you should be trying to get that on some type of soundtrack. Like that's something you should really be trying to showcase, like just to Hollywood, period. Given that you was already over there, might as well go back.
Yeah.
Like I got something else here.
It's about to take a life of its own. I actually just I signed that song under a label. They're going to be pushing it specifically just by itself. So yeah,
you deserve that. And that song deserves that too, man. That's not one of them songs that you just record and leave it there at the crib and never go nowhere with it. Like, man, shout out to you again, man. Like I said, I'm speechless, man. Speechless, bro. Speechless. You know what I mean?
That's definitely a unique track. And when you, I want to say when you emailed me, the track, it came with the instrumental, the acapella, and two different versions.
Yeah.
One of them was the house slap mix. I have no idea what house slap music is. Jamie, do you know what house slap
Not
music
at
is?
all. Not at all.
I was like, house slap? What does that mean? And then the other one was the EDM version. I
Yeah.
fell in love with the house slap one with I guess the guy's name is Double G.
Mm-hmm.
Who's Double G?
I actually, so I'm a big proponent of finding different ways to kind of do this thing, especially like I said, it don't make a lot of money, so I'm finding different ways to do it. So I actually went on Fiverr and I commissioned 8 different people to do remixes. And those were the 2 that made it. um, what I did was I took the remixes that they did, took the stems, and I even reproduced what they did, and blended it even more to the track. So yeah.
So when you go to make your music, what like how you picking the style of music you gonna make?
Ah, the beat speaks. The beat do all the speaking, even the stuff that I'm making myself, like the beats that I'm producing on this next project, series of songs that I'm be releasing. Um it it starts with the melody. I hear a melody, and instantly the melody, it the song is formed from just that. I can create there. I did a song called Beg, and Beg, I literally did that to a it was an acoustic guitar that played over and over and over and over again. I wrote the entire song to it, and then I sent that song to a producer who reproduced the beat around it. So a lot of times it's just whatever I'm inspired by at that time, and that's what creates the style of music it is.
How
Like I
you write?
said, the message.
How you write your rhymes? Do you write it on paper? Or do you do it in the mind? Are you texting it? How you write it?
Uh, I'm not on paper. We're on the phones now. You know.
Yeah, hey man,
Oh,
you'd be surprised. My man the other day showed up with literally a notebook
I
talking
believe it.
about my rhymes. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah, I
like,
believe it. I
and
believe
then
it.
and,
You
and
see
then he
where I'm
left
at?
it
I
in my
know.
car
I
for like
know.
2 weeks. I'm like, this is why you shouldn't write your rhymes on paper, man. You leave it in people's whips. You know what I mean?
Moisture is your biggest danger on both, though.
Yeah, facts
Um,
on both.
but
But the
usually,
phone is most
usually,
likely gonna be with you. You know what I mean? That
right,
notepad
right,
gonna be in somebody's car that you forgot it in. You know what I mean?
right. But usually, I'll create at least the verse and the chorus, and I'll voice note it, and then I'll forget it, which means it don't take a lot for me to forget. I'll literally go home, say hi to the kids, and ask them about their day. And after they done talking about their day, I've forgotten every single thing I've written or talked to somebody about unless I wrote it down. And I'll be like, okay, my mind is clear. I don't even remember how these lyrics went. Then I listen to it again, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's good. I like that, and I'll finish writing it.
That's interesting, man, because the other day, and I write like that too, but the other day, I was just writing in my head. And,
Hmm.
I was leaving the barbershop and I was just putting these rhymes together. And I had it all the way until I got to my crib, ready to go press record. And it was gone, son. So I got like
Don't,
I got
man.
a whole rhyme written in a weird type of flow that I was
Yeah,
just inspired that moment to do that I can't remember for nothing. And I don't even
them,
want to look at it until it just pops back in my head
yeah,
one day. You know what I mean?
them
But
voice memos is heaven sent, man.
yeah,
Um,
man.
even for me, like I used to write without a beat. I used to when I was younger. I used to
Yeah.
write without a beat, and I literally would stay up half the night trying to make a beat or trying to make the beat that I hear in my head, and I couldn't ever do it. So I stopped. I stopped for, I want to say, it was at least 12 years. I I did not write something if it wasn't to a beat. And I told my wife about it, and literally a couple weeks later, I was in the car. It was raining. It wasn't nothing that just gave me any inspiration. A song just started coming to my head, and I wrote the whole song. Heard the track and everything, and went home, sung it for the wife. She helped me finish writing it, and like the song has like an Ed Sheeran type of vibe, you know.
Shout out to the
So
wife.
that'll be another one where like people be like, "What do you do?" Like, pick one,
So
you know.
is that something that you do a lot, like with wifey and all that? Y'all write songs together?
Not a lot, not a lot. I was happy because I like to involve her and stuff, but she's been around me so long. Like when my studio was in the house, she's been around me so long that I'll have her listen to something that I just worked on, and she'll be like, "Is it mixed? Bring it back to me when it's mixed." Like, what happened to you? Like you, you used to just you can look past that, you know? Like, no, it's got to be fully wrapped up. Like, she like, okay, I like it, you know? Or I'm like, well, by the time you say you don't like it, I'm already completely got it together. Now I'm upset. I got to double back, you know? So
Man.
I get that. I'm happy when I do get to involve her, you know?
Yeah, but you definitely need somebody next to you that's going to do that and push you to just be a better version of who you are, because you know, a lot of times we do get ahead of ourselves, especially me. I do it all the time where I'm in the middle of writing a song and I'm like so feeling it that I'm like sending it to everybody, and it's like you half the verse is me actually spitting, and then the other half is just me going like you know what I mean, like coming up with the flow and all that. So and dudes be like, yo, what you saying? What you speaking in tongues? Like, man, listen, man.
So just listen to the first half. Just listen to the first half.
Listen to the first half, man. You got to see where I'm going with it, man. God is telling me something, you know what I mean?
Right.
But nah, you definitely need somebody there that's going to help you pump them brakes and be like, yo, hold on. Get it right, man. Excellence. Remember? We're going for that. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I got kind of like a rotating schedule of people that I send stuff to when I'm working on something. You know, I'll be like, oh, I'm sending to KG this time. I'll be like, oh no, I sent to KG last time. I'm sending to Nardo this time. You know, so I kind of sprinkle it around a little bit so I don't wind up just sending them all my whole catalog and not, they don't I want to allow the element of surprise to a few of them, you know?
To a couple of them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in the game right now, my bad.
So it's not often that it happens, but Edify Facebook messaged me something that was a rough draft. It sounded good on the phone. It sounded good on the laptop. And then I went to go play it in the car, and the beat was like, it was like higher than their voices, but like I knew how to sing along with the song. He said it was a rough draft, so I wasn't expecting everything to be leveled like it was on the phone, like it was on the laptop. But it's always good to get feedback before the final mix, just so you can see what other people think about it and what you need to work on. Because you can listen to it yourself and be like, oh, okay, I need to turn this down. Okay, I need to turn this up. I should put a sound effect there. I should put an ad lib there. But then somebody who doesn't know music or who do know music, they can give you that extra input.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right
you
now,
know, or a lot of times for me, they're like, okay, what exactly did you mean on this part? Like, I know how you put it, but you might have to reword it so that it doesn't go over everybody's head. You know, it's like we all know what's going on in our lives. We know how we feel about something, but a lot of times we don't know how other people will perceive it. You know, so getting that external, suggestions always helps.
Word. And that's biblical, man. That's definitely biblical. You know what I mean? It's definitely biblical. He says you'll know the children by the love that they have for each other. And, you know, we got to work with each other. That's another way that we can show love to each other. You know what I mean? And word.
When with all these critique shows like Rapzilla and Ruslan, you want to get feedback before you pay somebody else to dish your track that you worked on tirelessly in the studio, not eating, barely sleeping, whatever the case may be, missing out with quality time with the wifey, whatever the case may be. You want to get feedback before you pay somebody else to give you.
Truth.
Always good to have those friends or associates or people that listen to music on the daily or people that don't listen to music on the daily.
Right.
I just want to get their feedback.
Right.
So who's 3 artists in the game right now that you like? I got to get on the track with these brothers before I hang up my gloves.
Or sisters.
Or sisters, yeah.
Or sisters. So you talking about the whole game?
Yeah, I mean anybody. It don't even have to just be in the Christian world either. You know what I mean? Because I know you identify as an artist, so.
Yeah. So I would say 1 is Christian Grey. That's my guy. That is my dude. Christian Grey would be 1. 2, D1. And number 3 would be Chance the Rapper.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. A Chance the Rapper. I like Chance the Rapper. You know what I mean? He's a dope artist. Dope artist. So who are some of the artists within the body that you've already worked with?
A lot of them you wouldn't know.
Nah. So because you from Cincinnati, right? Like you in that area, Cleveland. Ohio, and all that, right?
Yeah.
So and I've noticed that Ohio area got so many Christian artists.
Oh,
you laughing, Licio? You think I'm bugging? I ain't bugging. I'm telling you, I'm trying to tell you. So like, you gotta be working with some of these dudes, right?
They roll deep.
Super deep.
It's only a few artists that I've worked with. Just because, like I said, finding them same levels, and a lot of times I'm not at the Christian rap shows. I'm not bumping a lot of elbows with just Christian rappers. God has given me the ability to be able to perform in clubs, churches, and band jazz venues. So a lot of times the biggest time I'm supporting the most when it comes to like live performance and events, it's at a secular event. But I do have artists, Cleveland artists like Watchman D, Captain Virtue. Somebody that you do know that I have collaborated with is Rail Riley. And, Rail and I, we also had Jay Monty on the track, which was our track Nuttin'. And yeah, man, so I don't really try to go for the big names or do a lot of stuff with a lot of people. Unless they hit me up, if they hit me up, I'm like, hey, I'm all for it. I'm always open for it, but I don't really go looking for it.
Okay, all right. So where you see yourself within the next 5 years with the music and the clothing and all that? You still gonna be doing all that?
Oh yeah. That's without question. I'm a lifer.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Because some people would be like, I'm really trying to just do ministry eventually, and I've heard that one as well. But I'm of the belief that we can do both. You know what I'm saying?
This is ministry, man.
Yeah,
you know how many times secular artists that I've recorded have come to me to ask me my opinion on their life. Like they know my opinion, they know my stance. And yet they ask because they know how honest in real life I've been when it comes to their music and how honest I am in the way that they operate their music business. And I put on Facebook one time, I was like, beware, if I record you, you're gonna become my friend. I tend to make the people that I record and work with friends with me. So like these people, they're coming to me and they're asking me. Yeah, they're asking me like serious advice, and I'm going to give them the Christian perspective, and they receive it. And they don't have a lot of people in their life that's doing it to them. So this is ministry for me.
Yeah, as you should too, man. As you should, because what better place than the very places you're comfortable being in? You know what I mean? So I think a lot of times we trying to do things that we're not even called to do. That's why you can't find the pocket in this area, and I think a lot of times we just got to be focused on what God wants us to do. And if all you do in life is live a humble lifestyle before God and then before man, according to scripture says you'll do well. You know what I mean? Because God calls us to love people the way that he loves us. And we know that God loved us so much that he gave his life for us, even though we were still sinners. So it wasn't do something for me so I can do something for you. He was the one that did something first, and that's why he says, before you loved me, I loved you. So keep that same attitude when you're dealing with the secular world. Before you start thinking that, God loved you more because you're a Christian, and this dude over here that, doing drill music about who he just shot last night, Like
Right.
he's still breathing the same air you breathing. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So, word.
Just to add on to that, not just with Christians collabing or interacting with the secular, just Christians with each other. Because at the end of the day, are we not people? Do we not bleed the same blood?
Yeah, facts.
So just have that same mindset when it comes to people. Period.
Facts. I mean, even with doctrines, sometimes which can be a turnoff for people who not Christians, where they see Christians going at each other based off of doctrines. Like, I see a 6, I see a 9. I'm right, you're right.
Yeah.
But seeing that, and I'm thinking, where's the simplicity at? You know what I mean? Like, can we all agree on Christ, knowing that? Because if you think you're better off than me, then wouldn't that really just mean that I need God more than you? I need
And then
Jesus
the fact
more
that
than
you're, in fact that you're doing it in front of the very people that you're supposed to be bringing to it, they're like, what are you bringing me into? You bringing me into your faith or your faith? And yet y'all both say y'all the same faith. It
Romans 2:24. Romans 2:24 says, on account of you, the Gentiles blaspheme God. This was talking to the Pharisees because they would judge people. They would close. He says that they hold the keys and they close the gates of the kingdom upon people. You know what I mean? So people were holding their own righteousness to a standard, knowing that their righteousness wasn't even perfect. Like he says, your righteousness is as filthy rags to me. So I think that there's a place for us to go into these spaces and not be so heavily minded that we become earthly irrelevant. We should be able to move in a room full of wolves. You know what I mean? Because we lions, right? We part of the lion tribe, right? So however people want to call it. But I'm thinking, man, we called to be the light of this world, and light shines best in darkness. You know what I mean? Don't try lighting the lighter in front of the sun. You know what I mean? Like, thinking that you're going to light up a room or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? But yeah.
So like, what we got? Outside, bro.
So we mentioned earlier, who Double G is, and you talked about Fiverr. So it's only right that we get into this house slap mix of monies.
All right.
Oh, okay, all right. So there's another one. All right, let's get it. So this one right here is called Monies Part 2, the house slap version. I'm interested in seeing what house slap is about. So
you got to get an education.
Let's get it. You already know, man. Information at the bottom of the screen. Go like, share, subscribe. You know what I mean? Tap in with the bro, man. Let them know you paying attention. You know what I mean? Because this is what we doing it for, man. We want to shine light in these dark places and any place, really, man. So all glory to God.
All glory to God. We only do this for the king. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Let's go. I need you to share it live, you heard? Let's go.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Let's go, share it live. All glory to God.
All glory to God.
Blessings to get
glory to God. We only do this for the king, you know what I'm saying? Let's go.
You know I have to bring this back.
No grip on me, I'm talking that money. Have your whole life set or set about money. Blocking them blessings to get that.
I know you gonna dig this.
All glory to God.
Let's go. Turn up.
I know you gonna dig this.
All glory to God.
This right here's a vibe.
I know you gonna dig this.
Let's go. Let's go. Jesus Christ is King.
All glory to God. All glory to God. All glory to God.
That brought me back, man. That brought me back. So I used to dance house music, man. I didn't know that's what house slap was. That's like house music, right? It's the same type of thing.
Yeah.
Yo, fire. I rock with it, man. I felt like I was going to the club, especially with the visuals. Yo, listen, man. That right there. Different, man. People better watch out, man. Like, this dude got too many tools in his belt, man. Word. Shout out to you, man. Word. So what was the inspiration behind that, man? You used to dance house music and all that?
No, man. I just wanted to come different, man. If I don't already do, you know, you can't.
I like it.
I can't do the same thing more than once, man. I'm one of them people. I don't know if you got a friend that you know, you ever like follow him to a place or ever walked with him to a place and they don't ever take the same route every single
No,
time. I'm that guy.
yeah,
Like
yeah. I don't.
I didn't take the same route to school every day. I walked a different street almost every single day, a different route. I want to know what's the long way, what's the shortest way,
Yeah,
what's the
I be doing that with the driving,
what
man.
jet.
I go on these drives, and I take different routes to get home. I know every way to get home
Right.
in my whole entire state back roads. You know what I mean?
Right.
Word up.
Right. So it's like, man, it's the same way when I release a song. You know, I'm like, what can I do to take this route? You know, I'm gonna still do the same things that I've done before, but what can I add to it to know I did something different? Because maybe I'm ADHD. I don't know, you know, but I can't.
Good ADHD though.
I can't cycle with it. You know, it's not just but you know, that's not proper marketing.
Yeah, nah, definitely fire, man. What's up, Lisa? What you think about that?
So, first of all, Dalomonze has never emailed me the same song with 5 different versions. Again, he had the acapella, the instrumental, the original Money song, the EDM remix, and then the house slap mix. And at first I thought it was
definitely on it.
At first I thought it was the same song, but no, they are totally different. So yeah, I was hooked. I was like, what is house slap music? What is that? So now I definitely got to listen because no other CHH artist, no other R&B artist is making house slap music.
Yeah.
So I was engaged from
So Paul says I must become all things to all men so I may reach a few.
Yeah.
So, you know, I stand on that, man. That's why I can't stick to a genre. I can't stick to one sound because God has allowed all of these things for all of these, you know, different people to be able to come for me. And hey, maybe I end up on somebody's house slap playlist, you know, and maybe it speak to them. So that's all I'm hoping for.
Yeah, man. Nah, shout out to you for that, man. Shout out to you for that. I'm gonna have to play.
And you got a lot of times you got to cast a bigger vision. I know I like, even with like my clothing line, I don't have a huge vision for it, but for these songs, I usually have such a huge vision for them that, you know, a lot of times what I can do financially can't even encompass that. But with this song, I was like, what can I do? What can I control? What does excellence look like? You know, imagine this song dropping on social media platforms, streaming platforms with all these different versions. They like, who is this signed to? You know?
I think a secular artist that was kind of doing that was St. John. Are you familiar with St. John?
Yes.
Yeah, so he dropped a song there, and it was super fire. I forget what the name is, but then he started dropping different versions of the song in like different locations and all that. I think there's even a Spanish version of the song. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Man, I applaud y'all for that.
You'll see certain stuff like that, like with like Disney songs, like, you know, like you look up, we don't talk about Bruno, man. All these countries talking about Bruno, you know, like you have 36 versions of Bruno for 36 countries, man. But I love it. I love the fact that, you know, all of these people are able to digest it and then regurgitate it in their own way, you know.
Yeah, it's creative, man. It's definitely creative, and it speaks to your artistry as well, and it makes sense why you would say, you know, I don't want to identify necessarily with any specific genre, you know what I mean? Because listening to your music, I don't think anybody who's listening to the type of music you're making would want to put you in any specific genre, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
I think that would probably actually be a disservice because, you know, the music you bring in and the artistry that you're presenting covers so many different bases that if you take one piece out, it might not look like the same picture. You know what I mean?
Right,
so you need everything together. So shout out to you. That's another understanding that I learned about how people why they see themselves as a Christian artist or not as a CHH artist. And what's crazy is like the argument that I said about one seeing a 6, another one seeing a 9. It's not that anybody is wrong. It's that everybody is right. You know, if you're doing it unto the Lord, because you can only do it from your heart. And why would you want to, you know?
And a lot of times it's perspective. A lot of times it's perspective. You can you can have somebody see a 6, somebody see a 9, somebody see an infinity sign, but it's
Mm-hmm.
because they turn different directions.
Yeah,
You
facts.
know, like it's literally it's just perspective, and the soonest that we're able to understand that, our perspective isn't the same as everybody else's, the better we'll be when it comes to evangelism.
Yeah.
Which
So
is
I have no problem um understanding somebody else. That don't mean I always agree,
facts.
but I don't have a problem understanding them, and understanding their perspective. So then I may be able to speak to them on the level that they are.
That's fire, man. That's fire. So check game, man. I got an actual game that I want to play. Give me 1 second. Let me bring up my notes. It's a
Oh,
quick little game.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's a quick little game, but I gotta do it. You know what I mean? I
Here we
haven't played
go.
this game on the show at all. Not on this one. I usually do it on the GodSon podcast.
Okay.
But all right, so let's get into this. This right
Dalomonze,
here.
get ready. That's all I can say. Get ready.
Yeah,
Oh man. Okay.
yeah. So this right here is an either or. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You ever watch Drink Champs? He does like a quick time with Slime, where it's an either or.
Oh,
It's no right or wrong answer.
right.
So it's just to kind of decompress, right, with some of the things that we've been talking about. So it's called Rapid Questions. Let's get into it. Peter or Paul?
Paul.
Elijah or John the Baptist?
John the Baptist.
King David or Joseph?
King David.
The poor woman or Lazarus?
Ooh. I'll be the poor woman.
Job or Jonah?
Ah! Oh, give me Jonah. He had his family.
All right. Noah or Moses?
Noah.
The 3 prophets that were thrown into the fire and lived, or the 3 apostles on the mountain of transfiguration with Jesus?
Transfiguration.
The story of the paralytic man that was healed, or Paul losing his eyesight and getting it back?
Paul losing his eyesight.
The story of David and Goliath, or the story of Samson and the Philistines?
David and Goliath.
God splitting the Red Sea, or Jesus walking on water?
Ooh. Jesus walking on water.
The story of the Good Samaritan, or the story of the prodigal son?
Prodigal son.
Last but not least, the Old Testament or the New Testament?
Oh, New Testament. It all
Yeah. That was a little game that I wanted to introduce onto the show, man. I think it's kind of fun, you know what I mean? But yeah, man. How you been having fun on the show?
Yeah, man, I enjoy it, man. I love the more long form podcasts and interviews, because then you get to actually get things out and get to a place where you said the things that you don't get to normally say on the podcast. Everything's so rushed, you know.
Yep. So what you got as far as events coming up and everything with this new year coming in?
Woof. Well, so as far as this year, I'm in and off this year. I'm actually, my wife does paint parties. We're doing a
shout out to the wife.
Yeah, we're doing a live R&B and paint event in which we're having R&B artists perform at the beginning, middle, and the end of the event, and in between they're doing the paintings. Then I'll be performing for a diabetes awareness event. Alicia, Canton, Ohio. I got a 45-minute show set on the 19th.
Camden?
Canton, Ohio. At Zion's Temple.
Okay.
So if you can make it, that would be great.
If you want to put the info up in the comments, and I'll put it up on the screen for people that's going to watch the show after.
Okay, for sure. Then I think that's everything I have booked so far. And this year, it's always one or two things that'll pop up in December. I'm already booked for South by Southwest next year. That's March of next
Oh,
year.
let's go. Let's go, man. Let's go. I love to see the brethren making moves like that because, sometimes being a new believer, you can come in and feel like if you did choose to make this type of music or to honor God with your craft, that you just might be limited to that box. So I
Yeah,
think,
yeah, yeah.
to see brothers just, brothers and sisters step out of that box and just, be successful, in whatever it is that God called them to do, then, I think we can't undermine that, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, even more so, like it, you don't have to stay in the box. The box is whatever box you put yourself in. So I continue to expand areas of the box that I've been in, because I'm branching off with other people. I'm allowing myself to at times be kind of vulnerable in situations. I flew out to ATL to meet an artist named MC Nice, and this guy, he has a list of people he's worked with, from Tupac to Nas to Fred Hammond to Kirk Franklin to Kiki Sheard, and he was honored that I flew from Cleveland to Atlanta just to come meet him. You know, and I wound up getting on a track with him. That track wound up getting Grammy nominated, getting a Dove Award nomination.
Man, it's not too
And
many people
then
that can say that, you know what I mean?
yeah, and then we were so tapped in that there was an opportunity for to create a theme song for the second largest uh D League basketball team, minor league basketball team in the nation, and we did the theme song for them. And they're playing that 3 years in a row now. So
That's
it's just
fire.
like don't don't keep yourself in this box. Be understanding when you ask God to expand your territory. Be ready for the opportunities that's going to present themselves.
Be ready for doors to be opened that no
Hmm.
man can close. So you gonna be bugging like, yo, who opened this door?
Right,
Because it
right.
wasn't a
But you
man,
gotta
you know what I mean?
you gotta also realize there's tons of people that are just there. They're open doors all around them all day, and they've just ignored them the entire time
Yeah,
because they're not willing to go further than
than the
where they
box.
see their calling going, and instead reaching towards where God is the vision that He has, because He said, I have plans for you. That
Man,
means
think
that
about
there are multiple levels and
yeah.
multiple steps that
Even when
can
you think
tag on
about
to that.
Paul, you think about Paul. Paul was chosen to go preach the gospel to the Gentiles, except when he went to go to Asia, Holy Spirit was like, nah, we're not going there. So
Hmm.
you got to be mindful of what God is doing in your life. He might have called
Yeah.
you to go preach the gospel, but there's an order on how that's going to happen, So
Right.
we got to be
Right.
careful not to, trust our own understanding and all that.
Yeah. And look though, even though he said no to Asia, Paul's reached Asia. Paul's reached around
Exactly.
the world
No,
for
because
generations.
it wasn't the time for it at that moment, right? So you know how the
Exactly.
scriptures say there's a time for
Yeah.
everything. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and it's just being mindful. It's almost like the story of Abraham, right, where
Hmm.
God tells him to offer up his son, but in the midst of him getting ready to do it, he can hear God say, "Stop." A lot
Right.
of times we get so blinded with the first thing God say that we don't hear the second thing. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
just got to stay in this place where we're humble towards God and not lean on our own understanding, right? That's Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 and 6. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Don't lean on your own understanding. So sometimes God is going to call you into places that it's going to look like the mountaintops, where you're going to be on the mountain of transfiguration and see the glory of God. But other times it's going to look like the valley of death, where
Yeah.
you're going to have to trust that God is still with you, whether it be the
Yeah.
mountaintop
Yeah.
or the valley. So being mindful of God is really key to our walk with the Lord, in anything that we
Yeah.
do, not just in music, but just life general. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Life in general. People are watching you, they watching your lifestyle. Something that my elder always says that I agree with so heavy is that the best gospel we preach is the one that we live. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Because it's so easy to tell people what the right thing is, but what are you doing about it? Do you really believe what you're saying? And people are
Right.
always watching that. And so we got to be mindful to be led by God, because we might be blind, but we know God isn't. You know what I mean? And we know that He sees things that we don't see. His thoughts are not ours. His ways are not ours. but he says that he will guide us. He says he will direct our paths if we're willing to put all our trust in him. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Amen.
So I thought Meezy was going to bring this up, but me and a couple of guys at the church, we were talking. I think it was yesterday. Takeoff, who was murdered. Um, with us being men of faith, sometimes we come across the youth, either in the church or at the gas station or wherever we may be. So my question, Dalomonze, is with hip hop being the way that it is, and with the young people listening to this poison, what is one way, or which ways can we counteract um, the impact of this music with these artists at a certain level of success?
Yeah. It's funny that you asked that, and in the way that you asked it, because you said something about a gas station, right? And it brought up a story in my mind. There was a guy that I met at a gas station, and for some reason he decided he wanted to tell me about his life. And when he was talking, he was like, yeah, man, I don't know, man. I'm just going through a lot. My girl, she be tripping because, you know, she keep talking about these other girls I'm talking with, but I don't know what's wrong with her. And I was like, man, you ever think that maybe she want to be your only woman? And he was like, oh, man. So you saying she want to be my only, not just my main? And she she don't want me messing around with these other women? I'm like, yeah, bro. And like, it's so crazy because you have music from the female and male perspective now that's talking about how cool and okay it is to be a side chick, you know, or for their man to have a main chick as long as he giving them the bag. And a lot of times you just got to be available to talk to them and have the dumb I'll just say have the dumb talk with them, because I had to, and I wasn't even saying it sarcastically. I literally was like, bro, she don't want to be your side. She don't want to be, she want to be the only chick you messing with. And it was like a new world had opened up to him.
Yeah, because sometimes I think we underestimate, or we think that people just know what we know and think the way we think. So sometimes people ain't looking at it that way. And as simple as you think that that's like logical, but you know, you don't know what a person's upbringing is. You know what I mean? So that type of talk right there might have just opened up a whole new reality for him.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Have you been in touch with him after that?
No, I didn't wind up getting his number. I didn't. And I want to say it was at least 6 years ago. But I'll never forget that story, because it was literally, it was one of those things where I knew that's where I was meant to be, and I knew that's what I was meant to say to him, and I was meant to just plant a seed, you know, because I was in the middle of the hood, like the middle of the hood, and we were running out of gas, and I was like, I do not want to stop here, but out of my nervousness, I'm sitting here just like, yo, what's up? How you doing? And that was all he needed to start a whole conversation, because he needed somebody. And who knows who it could have been at that time that would have said it, you know, that wouldn't have said what I said, you know, that'd be like, man, she tripping, man, you need to just get another chick, you know, because I know too many that would have said that. So yeah, man, you just got to be available. You can't like you said, you can't assume that everybody had the same upbringing. You can't assume everybody had parents. Some people were you know, put into foster care system and might have never gotten adopted, and might have only been passed home to home to home to home, and never had a place that really taught them how to treat a woman, or how a woman wants to be treated,
or not
or how
even that.
certain women want to be treated.
Some dudes growing up in where their family, like their moms, is on drugs, and
Yeah.
they're seeing their moms do things for the drugs, and
Yeah.
get the wrong perception of what a woman is supposed to look like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. True. True.
So we don't ever know what a person is coming from. We can't just automatically assume that people know what we know. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that was one of the dopest things one of my peoples told me was like when I came out the hospital, he was like, "Yo, you're the only one that changed. Everybody else is still the same." You know what I mean?
Yep.
So don't be talking to people like all of a sudden you change. Now we all supposed to understand this change that you in, right? You know, and I had to think about that because it's easy for us to get caught up in our own perspective about what the world looks like. You know what I mean? And
especially once you find your people. Once you
yeah.
find people that believe that same perspective that you have,
it's dangerous now, even with the online, because now you can go online and find, bro. If you believe that men can be cats, you'll find a whole community of people that believe the same thing, and it could be very deceiving and all that. You know, so just because we were talking about Takeoff and all that, what's your thoughts on Kanye?
Oh man,
it's a crazy convo, I know, but gotta ask it. You know, we a podcast now. Yeah? We gotta ask these questions, man.
I'll be honest, man. I don't think the man's crazy, but I don't think.
Me neither. I'm glad you said that.
I don't think we know the level of information that he has, and we don't know the type of people he's talked to. On in two different directions, and one of it being the truth, another of them maybe telling him something in order to keep him looking crazy for certain reasons. But I don't think the man's all the way crazy. I think he's one of those people where he absorbs information, and he's gotten to a point where he's the richest black man in America, and he's like, I'm about to put out all of this information. Some of it could be true, some of it could be false, some of it could have been fabricated by somebody else, some of it he's went through. It's really tough to say because I don't know how it is to be a bazillionaire. You know,
I say
I don't
this,
know how
man.
it is to have Jay-Z's number. You know,
yeah. So I think people will put their stake on people with way less. I don't even know the word I'm looking for, because Kanye West is putting everything he has on the line to say what he's saying. It's gonna cost him this. It's gonna cost him that. We put our stake in people who don't even put half as much or not even anywhere close to that much on the line, and we take their word for being factual. That you know, we sit in barbershops and we argue about this back in all day, right? But when I'm looking at somebody like Kanye, who's, and like you said, I don't know the conversations he's privy to. Like, I don't know what it is to have Jay-Z's number or whatever billionaire's number, right? I don't know that. But for him to be talking about this, seeing that it's risky, you know, and he's putting everything on the line just to speak on it, and then never mind what he's doing about putting it on the line, thinking about what he's actually saying. What he's actually saying is righteous, because what he's saying is, you know, why is it that our people can't be like that? Why can't we have two parents in our home? Why can't we give each other jobs?
Right.
You know what I mean? Why could we just talk about killing each other?
People completely skip over that part, and they only preview the parts that they are like, this is the craziest part.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of that has to do with the media.
Bad.
I think a lot of that has to do with the media, and I'll give you an example. I got ran over 9 years ago in New York on the highway. It was viral. They actually had it on Fox News today. They were talking about it. You know what I mean? But I got ran over on TV and all of that. And they told the story because it was a bunch of motorcycles. They told the story like if we was attacking this dude, because it was like 2,000 bikes out there. Now, mind you, in this bike ride that we had undercover cops, we had firemen. There's all types of people that came together to go on this ride. Right, and this one dude, you know, he gets into the middle of a pack of motorcycles, and ends up sideswiping somebody, and then somebody tries to slow him down, and he hits him, right? But the only part that we get on the camera is homie slowing down, and he gets hit from the back, and then everybody stops their bikes, and it looks like everybody gets off the bike, but the only ones that got off the bike was me and the dude that got hit, and then it shows them running me over, right? But the story was that we was this biker gang attacking a man and his family inside of his car because they had chased him down. So, and this was the story that they pushed for 3 days while I was in a coma. So by the time I come out the coma, I got nothing but death threats to my kids, to me, people wishing me death because of this story that the media painted about me. You know what I mean? And none of that was true. You know, and what was crazy is that I was looking at it and I'm like, man, how is it that we can see the chain of events? It's just logical. Like, why is there a car in the middle of 2,000 motorcycles? Unless he's with them. If he's not with them, why? Who runs into the middle of a parade? You know what I mean? Like, makes no sense. But the fact that people will look past the facts and go based off of whatever the media tells you about what happened and use that, that's kind of what I'm seeing with Kanye. I feel like they're doing that to him, you know what I mean? And we're watching it, you know, and if I'm being honest, I'm seeing a man who gave his life to Christ and is being molded and changed. He's dealing with it on camera in front of everybody to watch. I think about my walk with God and how that looked when nobody else was looking. It was just me. And I can say, man, I'm glad there wasn't no cameras around. You know what I mean?
Right. And his pitfalls are all being displayed as well. And the hardest part for him is that it's rewarded both directions. If Kanye wants to release a gospel album, it's rewarded. If Kanye wants to make a song about killing Pete Davidson, it's rewarded. So it's hard for him. I feel like the biggest thing for him to battle is his pride, because everybody's going to give him a pat on the back regardless of what he does, whether he acts crazy or not.
That's a fact.
So,
that's a fact.
So I would say just I keep him in prayer. Because I can't say what he said is completely truthful or not. But I also know that, you know, it's been times that they've called Michael Jackson crazy, you know, and some of the things that he said about how, you know, how the music industry is evil and these people are the devil, and he died a couple weeks later. So
you know what's ill, right? Look at the Bible storyline. From the Old Testament to the New Testament. Who killed the prophets? You know what I mean? Who killed the apostles? Who killed Jesus?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And why? Why was it? Because they were speaking against the status quo. They were speaking against the order that mankind had. You know what I mean? And so the minute you raise up to speak, and it's not even necessarily about any one particular group of people. It's just, it's good versus evil when you look at it. You know what I mean? There's people that are submitted to God and people that are not.
And the devil will use everybody.
Everybody.
He'll use everybody. He
even the dude in the church that be next to you every single day, because he go home and he be pillow talking with his wife about you, but he hasn't said nothing to you directly. But his wife know every feeling he got about you. You know what I mean? And those are that's the, you know, because with God, sin is sin, right? Like, I don't see God categorizing sin other than saying there's one that will lead you to death and one that wouldn't. You know what I mean? And so, but yeah, man, I had to ask the question about Kanye, and look, it'll open up a whole bunch of conversation. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's what it is, man, because
we
we gotta
sin
have
is sin, even if sinning is in.
Yeah. I like that. Sin is sin, even if sin is in. Yo, Lisa, write that down, cuz put his name next to it. Put his name there. Yo, we trying to do these T-shirts, you know what I mean, where we're going to take sayings that people say throughout the podcast and put their name on it and make T-shirts out of it, you know what I mean? And you know, maybe give it out to the people watching the show or something like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dalomonze, I need you to put it in the chat.
I got you.
So, we're 2 hours over. Jimmy, what you want to do, bro? We got 2 more songs.
No, we're not 2 hours over. We 13 minutes over. 2 hours. So the show's a 2 hour show. We're not.
Oh, my bad.
Bro. Potato, bro. 6 or 9.
The interview is only supposed to be 13 minutes, huh?
That's all right. At least you'll do a lot. So, you know, I'll give you a G pass. That's a God pass for y'all watching. Ain't no gangsters. You know what I mean? Give them a G pass. But go ahead, Alicia. What you saying?
So, we could go with, well, you spoke about MC Nice. I know him personally. So we're gonna go ahead and get into this other track called Dancing. And I mean, it's had some great success since it's been released. And we're honored to play it tonight.
Okay. So Dancing. All right, so let's get into this joint, Dancing. Again, man, information at the bottom of the screen. Go like, share, support. Go sow into the bro. Do what you got to do to be a servant in the kingdom of God. You heard? So let's get it.
Okay, I'm reloaded.
I'm not trying to let it go to waste.
Let's go. Let's go.
Favor taking over every day. Wait a minute.
All glory to God.
God is moving the spirit.
Yeah. As a younger, I was taught to hustle. As a youngin', I was taught to muscle. Collecting Wilson like my name was Russell. Buy a buildings, buy a bar, buy a gold, have a bigger vision. Rep the king when I sing, it's that simple living. Where I didn't listen, full of ambition. Man, hold up, listen. I was caught up in the thoughts of the thoughts, shooting shots where the plot was to keep me missing. Oh, Father, give me clarity. I ain't trying to fall back, I'm just trying to live right with this. Please make it better me. I admit I ain't perfect, I continue to fight through this. Wanna bask in your glory, wanna add to the story. As I dig through the quarry, trying to cop the inventory. So I live everyday life, walking through the fire, yeah, trying to be the better me. I gotta be free.
No level of stress can stretch my boundaries. I gotta be me. Keep the pride in check, and with all due respect, I don't need no rescuing. I need a moment to let him move, and I'll be moving on.
Hey, yo, this is what your life's like when you live that high life. Love the way you set me free.
Let's go. Let's go.
And every time I feel the love,
I know you're gonna dig this.
no matter how it seemed to be, you could be dancing. With all the stress in life, my God's gonna get you right.
All glory to God.
Fulfill your purpose with the mother churches. Quit acting like you're worthless. When a man's down, hands down, we stand ground. The campground with band sound and march with alertness. Get up, get out, show up, show out. Stomp a little, pop a little, watch the way we blow out. Shout a little, cry a little, pray a little, wait a little, sway a little. Let your faith speak and leave no
Gotta be
doubt.
free. No level of stress can stretch my boundaries. I gotta be me. Keep the pride in check, and with all due respect, I don't need no
Let's go.
rescuing. I need a moment to let him move, and I'll be moving on.
Hey, yo, this is what your life's like when you live that high life. Love the way you set me
I'm
free.
gonna keep on dancing. And every time
Man, I'm loving the energy on this. It's got me dancing, you heard?
you could be dancing. With all the stress in life, my God's gonna get you right. Just keep on dancing.
Shout out to Dalomonze. Go show that love. Go show that support.
No matter how it seemed to be, you could be dancing.
That right there. That'll have you dancing, word, man. I love the energy in your music. I ain't gonna hold you, man. You got the feel good music, man. You know, like sometimes I don't know, man. Sometimes with music, for me, it just be certain type of music. I don't need to really hear every single word or it's just the energy, the frequency that it's on. You know what I mean? And man, shout out to you because your music got that.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, word, man. What's up, Lee Show?
Definitely a banger, man. I still play that even in my spare time. I know you released it, so many months ago or whatever, but I still play it even now. Definitely one of my favorites out of your catalog, bro, for real.
Hey, man, I appreciate it having an opportunity to be on it, man. God is good for sure.
So if you could make up your own category, what category would your album fit in?
Oh man, that's big of my own. I don't even.
Got it.
That's the question I can't even answer, man. I'll be honest.
So
I allow people to put my different songs in different boxes.
Okay,
it'll be a multi-genre category.
Yeah. All right, so let me ask a similar question. If you was gonna make a movie about your testimony and but like being like the gospel, what role would you play in that story?
Oh man, I'd be the bummy dude on the street. Um, that'll go from rags to riches. But in the process, he'd find God and change his whole perspective from wanting to get money to not even caring, and then all of a sudden it falls into his lap. See, you didn't create a whole movie right there. See, you didn't. Look what you done
Yeah. Oh man. So which one of the apostles do you feel you relate to the most?
I relate to Paul, man. Just like when
Why?
you were asking the questions and you were saying, when you were, I think you said uh, it was one of them
Paul
where
and
it was
Peter?
it
When I
was it
said
was Paul or Peter, but then it was one where he said he lose when he lost
losing
his
his eyesight.
eyesight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Getting it
and I
back.
was like, yeah, and I feel like that was the more stronger one for me that resonated with me because to know to have and to have never gotten and then to have again is different. It's different if I get a father, right? And I can say this specifically to my situation. When my wife and I got together, I inherited a whole father-in-law that was there. And I inherited a whole grandfather that was there. I didn't have my grandfather around. I don't even know my grandfather's name. I didn't have a grandfather around. I didn't have a father around. So when I got both a father and a grandfather, and then her grandfather passed and her father passed within the first 10 years, because we were at 12 years now. In the first 10 years of us being married, to have to to not have had a grandfather or a father, I didn't know what I was missing. I knew there was something that other people had that I didn't have, but when I got them and then I lost them, now there's a noticeable gaping hole. You know, so for Paul to have had his eyesight, lost his eyesight, gained Christ in the midst of it, and then got it back again, like that's that's powerful because it's like, man, like the only reason why I got it back was because of God,
Yeah.
Now somebody on the other hand, because I could be the devil's advocate, somebody on the other hand was like, well, God took it from him in the first place, you know. you know.
There's always
But at
gonna
the
be
same
that
time,
person that gonna find the bad thing about something. Come on, man, relax.
but at the same time, it's like, but life happens.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you can always say God did it in the first place, but life happens. And when life happens, what was the reason? What renewed you? Because he was renewed. Not everybody gets renewed.
Yeah,
Some
facts.
people they just become Christian in their blindness and they just have to figure out how to live life as a Christian, as a blind Christian that's trying to seek and save the
Scary.
lost
That's
when they can't
scary.
see. You know,
That's scary. That's scary,
they
man.
trying to seek and save the lost in darkness. You know.
That's actually an oxymoron. You shouldn't be a blind Christian. You're supposed to follow the one who can see. You know. So yo, that was a double entendre. But I definitely agree with you with that story. And the reason being because I can also relate to Paul losing his eyesight. So when I read the story, I see that it says something like scales fell off his eyes. And when you take a scale and you look through it, you can still see the light through it. It just would be mad blurry. You know what I mean? And I think a long time you spend in the world, thinking that you know in the direction you're going. And like for me, I thought that if I can just be that dude in the hood, make sure I got my money right, you know what I mean? My girl, my kids is right, then I'm good. But the problem was that I got to that place and I still felt purposeless, like I didn't have a purpose. And it started to create depression. So for me, I was like,
Because you
Paul.
you were taught all I need in this life to sin is me and my girlfriend.
Facts. And that was actually a song me and her used to always play together. She's mad hip hop, my BM. You know what I mean? But so the way that I'm relating is like, cause you think you going in the right direction. Like Paul was somebody who knew the Torah, he knew the prophets, he understood so much to the point that he was willing to kill people based off of breaking these laws, statutes, and commandments, right? But even in that place, he still couldn't see the truth. right? He was still blinded that he was even persecuting the one he loved. You know what I mean? And so the way that I relate to that is that for a long time I was living in a direction that I thought I was going in the right direction. I thought I had it figured out. And then one day I realized I didn't have it figured out, and I had an encounter with God where I had to change the way that I see things. You know what I mean? In order to get my eyesight back, which is the one that he's given me from birth. You know, somewhere down between birth and the time that I gave my life to Christ, the world stepped in and tried to manipulate, you know, truth in my life. He tried to tell me who I was, who I wasn't, you know, and it was always contrary to God, and I built a whole identity off of that. You know, so here I am, like Paul, you know, thinking I'm going in the right direction, wanting to be righteous before God, because as much as I did the bad thing, I never did it to somebody who didn't deserve it. You know what I mean? So, you know, and that's the way I used to justify it for myself, not saying that it was right. But being in this place, I'm thinking I'm doing the right thing, but I was actually going in the wrong direction. And then when God steps in, now I got to change the way that I think. I got to change the way that I see things. My eye now needs to be single, so that my whole body is filled with light. I got to see things God's way. I can't see it God's way halfway and then the other half my way. You know what I mean? Where we're like making God into the image of a man or something. You know what I mean? Like, so I felt like, and I could relate to that, man. So, yeah. Shout out to Paul, man. So where we at with it, Alicia? What we got? We got on a Sunday left.
Yeah.
And I know we already went over, so we'll do it like this. Just break down on a Sunday what was the inspiration, you know, what was the process in going into making the song, and then we'll play it and we'll end the show that way.
All right, on a Sunday, features my my you know, two good friends, Captain Virtue and Watchman D. And after we were done creating it, I was like, this needs a violin. And I had a violin in it. Now this version that you hear, I don't think it has one in there. But yeah, this song, man, it was first I had just wrote the hook to the beat, and I was like, maybe you guys might like this. And Watchman D was like, man, I could tell my story over that, you know? So, you know, he put that in there, and then Cap was like, man, he was like, I'm about to bring the spirit in. I'm going to, he got this John Legend sounding voice, man. Like, I was just like, hey, bring it in. So literally it was just a great collage of brothers in Christ, trying to create something that's edifying to the kingdom, evangelizing at the same time. And, you know, but we're trying to keep it as on par with what people, you know, dealing with.
Why name it on a Sunday?
Oh man, because that's when you find that's where God is. You know what I mean? No, I'm just joking.
I was gonna say.
I know that you'll have many people that's like, oh, you know, well, actually, the Sabbath was Saturday. You know, but I was always raised going to church on Sundays.
Yeah, the first
and that's
day
kind of that day where you kind of, even if you're not going to church, or even after church, you lay back, and that's the time where you can actually be able to like go and like connect with people and do stuff and like really show some love and build with people. So people got different perspectives of what the I found love part was. You know, some people was like, oh, you know, for me it's God and church, you know, on a Sunday. And other people was like, well, you know, Sunday is usually my best day as a beggar because people want to show the most love because they, you know, they dishing out because they feel good that day, you know. But anyway it goes, you know, God gets all the glory.
Yeah, facts. So on a Sunday is just more of a relatable, you know, where people understand what you mean. It's basically how I receive it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely want to say shout out to you for coming on the show. I think you're a super dope artist. Don't be surprised if I try to reach out to you. I'm not a crazy, you know, one of those fans that's gonna pop up at your door, but I might reach out, you heard?
I talk, man. Listen, I chop it with everybody that I can. It's not even and don't even think of it. Say, oh, he only talking to me because he talked to everybody. Like, no, like I enjoy connecting with people.
Yeah,
you know,
I could definitely tell that about you, man. And that's what I was saying when you had locked out and then came back in, is that you have a character about you that's like I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Very genuine. I feel like you're very transparent and honest. I'm
your favorite cousin. That's why.
Man, there you go. You my favorite cousin, man. That's another one. Write that down. You know what I mean? I'm your favorite cousin. Hey, yo, we really gonna do it. We gonna create it. We gonna create like a whole trading card type of thing behind these shirts, right? You know what I mean? Yo, you got that? You got the Dalomonze joint? Yo, he said he had 2 of them. You know what I mean? Word, man. But yo, shout out to you, cousin, for coming on, man. I'm definitely grateful that Alicia will plug you in like that, man. I'm grateful to have met you personally. I'm not sure if I got you on my friends already, but I got so many people that hit me up. Yeah,
we'll find each other for sure.
Yeah, nah, definitely, man. But look, man, God bless you. God bless your family. I pray that the Lord continue to open these doors for you, especially in these secular places, man, because sons and daughters need to be in those spots. We need to occupy those places, you know what I mean? So may the Lord continue to bless you and open doors in that direction for you, man, and give you favor. Right?
If I can give 2 shout outs before we end.
Go ahead,
I want to shout out to Making It Magazine, Kelby Kennett, owner of that, and GTA Audio Room, Cleveland, Ohio.
Shout out. Alicia, what's up with sis? I know you ain't promoted yet. Promote sis.
Yeah.
We gotta promote sis. We gotta promote sis.
So November is, of course, the month that we all travel for Thanksgiving. Some of us, we have family coming in, and some of us, we are going out to visit our family. So my sister Kanisha is a travel agent, and I actually made this for her. So if you guys need any graphics, hit me up. But if you guys are looking for deals specifically and save money while you travel for this holiday season, hit up Kanisha Warlick. You see her name down here. The phone number is 513-580-4720. And the website is kanishawarlick.intellitravel.com. She is your personal travel agent, and she is also booking. There's some kind of deals going on with cruises before the end of the month. So you guys definitely want to tap in with her if you want to book a cruise, and you want to tap in with her if you are traveling for this holiday season. Also, she is the founder and owner of All Things Essential Oils and More. I also made her logo. So again, if you guys need any graphics, hit me up. But she has her own website, allthingsessential22.com. She does butters, creams, healing aids, and like if you have like eczema or you need like a custom order, she does that as well. She does everything from head to toe, men, women, and children. And you guys need to subscribe to her YouTube channel because she drops videos every Friday. So like, comment, and subscribe. Hit up my sister if you need anything pertaining to all things essential oils and more.
Shout out to the sis. You know, got it. And yo, for anybody too that's watching, man, you got any commercials, you got any events, anything going on in your ministry where you want us, you know, to help promote, just send it through, and we'll make it happen, man. Because really, man, we just want to be here to wash each other's feet and all that. Like we read the story, you know what I mean? We can't really do it physically sometimes because of distance and all that. But I could definitely come and lift the brother up and lift the sister up, support you in what you're doing, you know, to help move the show forward. You know what I mean? So if you're doing something, reach out to us. We definitely want to help support y'all, man. All things Jesus Christ. That's the only way we move, and that's how we going to give it up. So we're going to get into this last joint called On a Sunday. And you already know. Thank you for rocking with us. Information at the bottom of the screen. Go ahead, Lisha. You got something you want to say?
Go get that merch, man. Glorybrand.com. And if you guys are looking to book Dalomonze for any type of event, I don't care if it's for a wedding, you want him to come sing at a pep rally, hit up www.dalomonze.com.
Yep.
All his music booking information and more. Cash App is at the bottom of the screen. Definitely contact him if you want to support him. But definitely support his music. He got more on the way. And 2023 is going to be another phenomenal year. Just like 2022 was.
We in here. Yo, Cuzzo, this is your spot. This is your home. Anything you want to promote. If you got an exclusive joint that you want to just have us play, send it through, man. We got you, man. This is your spot. This is your home. You know what I mean? And anybody you feel representing the king and need light, send them this way too, man. We here for that.
We'll do, man. We'll do.
All right, man. You already know. God bless y'all, man.
Okay, I'm reloaded.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Shout out to Dalomonze.
Yeah, stressful week, didn't rest a bit. Anxieties I wrestle with, antidepressants down by the handful, but the pills didn't lessen it. How I feel, ill spirit, low refreshing it. Went to the church for a word my intellect could get. Rational thinker, but I felt something affectionate. Wrapped in the presence so euphoric. Life, peace, and love, I'm certain you're it.
In this hope I found. This is the perfect place to lay my burdens down. In you I am so free, I have no stress anymore. Now I got a rest from my soul, I want everybody to know.
All glory to God.
Show love, no reason. Entertainment angels as we cast out demons. Love is the mission. If you see it, you believe it. Goodwill go a long way if they need it. If I'm down, you can pick me up. If I'm filthy, clean me up. You're no longer bound. Lay your burdens down. I know you can find it.
I'm gonna tarry in this hope I found. This is the perfect place to lay my burdens down. In you I am so free, I have no stress anymore. Now I got a rest from my soul, I want everybody to know.
All glory to God.
Gonna dig this.
The kind that'll make you hug a brother.
I know.
Make you stand up for a lover. Come on, stand up for the Bible.
All glory to God.
'Cause I found love, love. I found love on a Sunday. I found love on a Sunday.
All glory to God.
I found love on a Sunday.
I know you gonna dig this.
I found love on a Sunday.
hustle. You have to hustle, put in the hard work. There's no excuses on the road to success. Even when you feel defeated, you gotta keep going. Pray. You have to pray for everything that you want and everything that you're thankful for. When it's not going the way that you want, you still gotta trust the process. Eat. After the hard work, it's time to celebrate and fellowship with the ones who believed in you. And if they didn't believe you, let's turn them into believers. Hustle, pray, eat. It's the brand that motivates.
Hi, I'm Rosalind with Rosalind's with Counseling, and I'm excited to tell you about my program called From Forgiveness to Healing. This program is a self-paced, 8-week transformational program that walks individuals through the process of forgiveness. If you've been struggling with releasing or letting go of things, need help in forgiving someone or maybe even yourself, this program is for you. You can learn more about the program on my website, rosalindsmithcounseling.com, or you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Rosalind Smith Counseling.
KS Radio Show, hosted by Alicio, aka KS. You got a new hot record you can't get on the airways? Well, they take music submissions over here at Alicio Torres 1989 at yahoo.com.
Say what?
Alicio started the KS Radio Show in January 2016, and it is recorded live every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time through www.blogtalkradio.com. Not only is the KS Radio Show the home of the most exclusive music and interviews, you can also give a birthday shout out to your homies. Happy birthday! Follow on Instagram and Twitter at KS Radio Show, or contact Alicio directly. His phone number is 513-370-4968. Alicio is down to interview anybody with a testimony, so get with it or get lost, get right or get left. Yeah.
FRIENDS, miss me with them indirect boxes on the internet. I passed on never intersect. How you in the click, but you don't know me at all. All your shots get intercepted, so don't throw me the ball.
Good things come with competition. Well, good thing I'm a fighter now.
Yeah, Des, that's good. Little more of that, little more of that.
Great things come with heaven. Well, good thing God changed my life around. 'Cause he's just like fire, fire, burning at your back door. Fire, fire, nothing that you can ignore. Let God's presence fill you up. 'Cause he's just like fire, fire, trying to knock your door down. Fire, fire, nothing that could break his bound. Let God's presence fill you up.
That's good. Let's run it again one more time.
Got him! Got him!